Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Screentalk. I'm your host, Timi. Along with the man Den, we have Joseph, we have Ads, and we have Kit. Today, we are doing a Spider-Man ranking, and this is going to be very fun because a lot of controversial decisions are going to come out of this. I'm ready, and I hope you're ready. Also, we have Spider-Man gameplay over on the Screenverse gaming channel, so I hope you watch that. If not, the link is in the description. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Screentalk, and so you never miss a single moment of the action. Without further ado, let's get into the Spider-Man Cinematic Universe ranking. Amen.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I'll let you man quick on this
go.
one. This is not my favorite.
I'm not gonna lie.
No.
The highest outplay
is top tier.
Scene alone.
Oh, I don't know.
That scene alone just puts it.
I hear it.
I don't know, you know.
I say go.
The film didn't take me. The film didn't take me like it did everyone else.
To be honest, I didn't watch it until like
I'll
3
say
years
top
after it
tier.
came out.
Oh wow, yeah, that's it.
Wow.
I hear it. Timmy's
Yes.
favorite. The Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, is it my time? Goats, immediately. Put it in there.
Okay, now that we've got that out of the way,
I'd say
Rewatchable.
rewatchable. To be honest,
It's not top tier
rewatchable.
Spider-Man. It's not top tier Spider-Man.
It's not top tier Spider-Man. Timmy, just be happy we're not putting it in mid. I'll be real.
It's not top
Be very
tier
happy that we're not putting it in mid right now, Timmy.
It's
You know what's so
serviceable.
funny?
Excuse me? Did you just say the greatest Spider-Man film of all time is serviceable?
Can we move on
this is
expeditiously?
No one has said it's
I'm
the
gonna
greatest.
Can we move on expeditiously?
I'm not gonna skip past that.
Expeditiously.
Tell me what about this film? Give me 10 good reasons as to why this film is serviceable.
Because it didn't, what's it called? It didn't change the landscape for Spider-Man. It was just a very serviceable film. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. It did its job.
Break our imagination of Spider-Man. It did what it needed to do. Some people didn't like it. Some people did.
Wait, hold on. Best Spider-Man visuals in a Spider-Man film ever? Excuse me?
Please don't. In fact, I am glad you brought that up. I am glad he brought that up. For all these amazing Spider-Man fans, please, you need to give something that's good about this film that doesn't mention visuals. Fam, go on Twitter and check out every post to do with the films. Oh, the visuals. Nothing about story. There's no substance.
Look, I'll be real. We've had.
Well, no one ever talks about it.
It's not. No
one ever talks about it. It's always the same shot of him with Electro flying off his webs, blah, blah, blah. Same, his intro swing, hey, New York, where's the story? Or the visuals of the visuals. That's why he got dropped to Spider-Man. They didn't want him in the MCU. Sorry.
You said this to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Why did he get dropped?
Ah, damn.
But the visuals.
He has done it for me. So.
I even said it's rewatchable. I didn't even say it's good. I said it's rewatchable. Sorry?
I would hear your argument if this was a bit about the
okay, but his film sucked. His film sucked. Even if his film stayed.
He's not even the best. Look, I'll be honest here. His film sucked. I'll be honest with you. He's
rewatchable.
He's
the same top tier.
He's the same in both.
Rewatchable. I mean, I wouldn't rewatch it right
it's
now.
It's not top tier. Timmy, like I said before,
exactly.
Rewatchable.
That's like a C.
It could have easily been mid.
That's possible.
And I'll be honest here, you picked 4 new people and it could have easily been this, ain't it?
Yeah, a whole different members from the Screentalk team. It be this, ain't it?
Guys, we are Screentalk. We are supposed to make a difference in the media community. We cannot be saying that the Amazing Spider-Man is rewatchable.
We are. We're weeding out mid. That's what we're doing. We are making it. We're weeding out mid.
We're not
exactly
standing for it no more. We're not standing for it no more. Look, I'll be honest with you. The romance is the best Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that.
Fine, I'll give it that.
As a package, it sucks. As a 3-course meal, it stinks.
In terms of showing intelligence, showing the nerdy side of PR, the social side, his relationship with his Uncle Ben,
and the parent plot, blood of Jesus. They made his parents flipping James Bond in. Like, what is that, man? What is that?
Parker's parents is never important. Never.
You never show Spider-Man.
It's not important.
That's the thing. When you're trying to reinvent the wheel, you don't need to reinvent the wheel with Spider-Man. Why do you have to make him cool? Why do you have to make him a skateboarder? Why is his parents secret agents? No.
In the comments. They did it once. It didn't click, and they left it.
Spider-Man is not cool. He's
Now
a
they're
mad
just regular
loser.
humans. Please,
It's rewatch. Let's leave it there. It's rewatchable. That's fine. I didn't say it's crap. I just said it's alright.
It's good.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's good. It's nowhere near the worst.
Of course not.
It's nowhere near the worst. It's a lot worse.
No. It's alright. It's good. It had potential.
Andrew, I tried. Andrew Garfield.
It's fine. That's an issue. It's fine.
The next one is Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse, isn't it?
Top tier.
Go for me.
Why would you give it top tier? I'm interested.
Are we going
vote
vote basis? If it's vote, you guys can put in goat since you got, but I'll just give it top tier.
In terms of me, if I'm taking in the context of it being a sequel, in terms of the visuals, it improved. In terms of the storyline, it improved. The main character improved. It just improved so much on the first film for me personally. So I would put it in goat. Take it in the context. Yeah, it's a great sequel. The only criticism is that it ended. My only criticism is that how annoyed I felt when it ended. But that's about it. I love the film.
I'll put in top tier. Cause I think we've go as in, I know it's just the same, but as in we're talking about like ever, like we're never gonna see. As in it has to. What film? It's like we're talking like Dark Knight kind of, not obviously Dark Knight, but has to, that kind of. I don't know if Across the Spider is at that kind of, because the Dark Knight kind of like reinvented like the whole like comic book movie like landscape. Or is Across the Spider-Verse going to do that? I don't know. Animation wise, yes, it might. But in terms of like story wise, I don't know. But yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
I do think it also depends on how Beyond is as well. So this is like a package deal. It might either elevate it if it's a good third film, or might just make it somewhat worse.
Animation wise, it will kind of change some, because the animation is top tier. I'm not gonna.
It's amazing.
But in terms of the story, I think it was good, but it wasn't revolutionary. It was not something that we haven't.
I do prefer the story.
I was great.
Because it's more.
Pause.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
That is
crazy. Doesn't even move on. I don't want to say what it's just with. That is crazy.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna end. Yeah, the next film is Spider-Man 2. The next film is Spider-Man 2.
Hey, Spider-Man 2 is GOAT. Just put in GOAT. I don't think too much even needs to be said about it.
I would put it in GOAT, but the reason why, I think the perception of Spider-Man by Raimi, I think its influence of what Spider-Man is now is kind of detrimental. But I'll still put in GOAT. I'll put in GOAT for that.
I hear that. It has great influence. But I think it can be negative, yeah.
It's overrated for me because you go back and it's like, okay, cool, I get it's a good Spider-Man film, it's a good story, it's a good Spider-Man story, but it's not the best you've ever seen.
On what basis, man?
I don't think it is.
What makes the film not go?
If I'm being completely serious, in my opinion, as of right now, Across the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man story.
Okay, fair enough. I don't agree, but fair enough.
What story? You said story. He said story.
They are.
I don't think there's a better Spider-Man story than Spider-Man 2 as of now.
If it's in terms of stories, what Insomniac is doing with Spider-Man is up there. I'll be real. This is not film related, but in terms of story, Insomniac games, they are cooking.
I think live action though, I don't think there's been a better story than Spider-Man 2 as I'm speaking right now. Especially at the time it came out as well.
First Venom film. I say this ain't it.
Yeah, this ain't it.
It's between mid and rewatchable.
I think it's rewatchable.
What?
Whoa.
I think there were aspects of the story that actually did work.
No.
I think there were.
Let me think.
I mean, I'll put this ain't
Let me be
it.
fair to the
I
film.
probably have with the film is it trying to juggle between it.
It's such a weird one because if it comes on,
the first one's better than the second
just
one.
like
100%.
it's either you go all out or you don't. Do you get?
There's just a lot wrong with it.
That was the kind of issue I had with it.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's why it's a weird one.
Him batting on people's heads that there's no blood and stuff like that is weird.
Yeah, because if it and
I don't imagine Venom being like a funny
if it comes on and it's, I'll just kind of just watch it out. Like it's not the worst thing.
Yeah,
but in terms of Venom as the character, that's where it kind of leans towards like the this ain't like this is not the Venom. I know
exactly. It's not Venom.
In a way, it's kind of Venom. That's why I want to put in this ain't it, but it's not the worst because there's worse films on it. But it's just
then we should just land
Let's
on
say
mid,
it's
I'll
mid.
be real. Because taking it from a Spider-Man angle, I don't know what I'm watching. From a Spider-Man angle, if we're taking in all the context of like, it's not really like firstly, it's a Spider-Man villain offshoot film, and Venom has just landed and he's just turned into an anti-hero straight off the bat. He hasn't gone through like a villain arc and then become an anti-hero. He's just an anti-hero off bat, and now he's funny. And
actually, just put him mid. I'm very close to putting this in, but I'll just put him mid. But it's very close to this thing.
I would say mid. Yeah, mid is fair. Mid is fair.
Where do you want to put it at the bottom?
Nah, it's not. But I would say it's at like the bottom of rewatchable.
That's too high, man. That's too high. It's not even a Venom film. If we're being real, it's really not Venom. That's even being too nice.
Look,
it's really not Venom.
Let's use our existing ranking. Is it as good as The Amazing Spider-Man?
It's not. It's really not.
And it's not.
Because it's not even a Venom, like, the actual car. It's not a Venom film. No, I think the first one is...
This is going off what we put down so far.
The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is more rewatchable than Venom.
You have to ask yourself, if someone said, let's watch Venom right now, would you do it?
No.
That answer.
If it came on in passing, like I was flipping it and I was like, oh, cool. But I'm not actually saying I want to watch Venom.
You didn't really have a choice. It's just there.
Fair enough.
Say less. Not for
yeah, but I wouldn't complain. It's more so I wouldn't complain if it was on. I wouldn't complain if I walked into a room late and it was on.
That's the question.
I would never go back and watch.
I'll leave it in mid because there are, like Timi said, there are aspects that do work that are Venom, but overall it's not really a Venom film. Okay, I'll leave it mid. That
was a great casting, to be fair. Tom Hardy.
What's the main character? What's the main actor's name again?
No, Tom Hardy.
No, Tom Hardy. It's him and Venom. They just bring up the film themselves.
Without them, there's no
and his
film.
voice acting. Without them, there's no film.
Yeah, we'll leave it mid.
The next film is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Homecoming mid for me.
Wait, let him go.
Just because of how we were talking about Venom just before this year, I would never randomly put on Spider-Man: Homecoming. I would never. I'm gonna open.
Is that okay? That's what we're rewatchable point. But how is it as a film? How is it as an actual film?
As a film, okay, cool. As a film, it's not. It's all right. I see what they were going for in terms of like the teen angle and stuff like that, bringing like grounding things a lot and showing that Peter wants to like kind of run before he can walk and stuff like that. I see all that, and then stripping him back, going against the Vulture, all of that. I do like it, but unfortunately, his biggest sin for me is that it's boring.
Okay, that's fair.
It is boring.
That's fair enough.
And you know what? Yeah, especially coming off his first appearance in Civil War. I've first seen him in Civil War.
I see why you'd say that.
And now I'm coming to Spider-Man: Homecoming. I'm like, I hear it. I mean, I like the teen angle, but I wish it was done a bit better. I just wish it was a bit more exciting. I wish it wasn't as funny. Like, I feel like Peter playing with his suit, him having an AI with his suit, the whole Iron Man thing and stuff like that, and all that type of stuff. I just didn't really like it too much. I wish he was a bit more independent.
That's fair enough.
And how can you have your first Spider-Man film in New York, no iconic swing scene? That's a bit mad.
Okay, I think that
is a bit mad. I'll be honest with you. There was no footage of him like playing on buildings and stuff like that. Like, he just come back from Germany with a new Iron Man suit, even though he doesn't have access to the AI yet. Yeah, you're not even trying to experiment with the suit, like not trying to swing in it. Like, come on, like it looked like he was just Spider-Man of like one neighborhood. That's what Homecoming kind of gave the vibe of. He kind of just chose in one neighborhood. Yeah, so those are my gripes with the film. So for me, mid.
I mean, to be honest, this is more an issue that I have with like the rest of the MCU Spider-Man films anyway, but you don't really get that sense of friendly neighborhood. You get that one scene in Homecoming where, that guy tells him do a flip and he's
when he's showing people around the neighborhood as well.
Yeah, but
showing them that.
Exactly. Apart from that, you're not really getting much. You could argue that in Far From Home, you got the whole thing with Feast and that, but there ain't really anything much going on there. In Far From Home, he's not even in New York for like the majority of the movie. He's abroad. He's in Europe. So I don't know.
I do agree. I think one thing the MCU Spider-Man films have, I guess, suffered with is they've tried to not make it like just Spider-Man 3 in terms of trying to just copy what they did with Tobey's in Andrews, because there's a lot of similarities, the whole Harry Osborn going into Goblin. So I understand why they kind of wanted to take it in a different direction. But I think this is kind of more wider issue because it's now a shared cinematic universe. So there's more, I guess, constraints that maybe these films had that the other two didn't. Like the other two, they could do whatever they want because they're like, we're just making a Spider-Man film. We can use whoever we want. But I think obviously coming into the MCU, they kind of wanted to make Spider-Man feel different. Like, what is Spider-Man in this generation? So I understand why they wanted to like modernize and change. But I think for some characters, there are just some kind of core things that they should still have. Now, you can tell in a different way narratively, that's fine. But I think the Uncle Ben thing is kind of, I understand, but it's still kind of like a massive, like, it's still playing on my mind.
It's trying to reinvent the wheel. Which you don't need to do. You don't need to do.
I think the Uncle Ben thing is a bit weird because I guess they've shown that they can handle it before. Like as we were saying earlier with the Spider-Man games, they obviously you allude to the fact that okay, cool, Ben's not in Peter's life no more, but they've done that story really well to the point where you don't really need to dwell on that too tough.
Don't dwell on it, but I guess I understand that angle that you're trying to go off.
Yeah, I don't even mind like Aunt Meg like dating Happy like she's moved. I actually don't even mind that. But I think if it's kind of just an acknowledgement from Peter that he had that kind of
Oh yeah.
Why do you care? Like move on, she can move on.
There was a couple throwaway lines, but it's a thing of it was never consistent.
Exactly, like mentions it in
Homecoming.
Like, then they have the bag and Far From Home.
In Far From Home, it's not enough. I'm trying to say Uncle Ben is important. Uncle Ben is very important. Like,
it's just a thing like that happens and that makes a major impact on his life for the reason of him putting on the mask.
The New York thing that you mentioned though, Timi, is interesting because I do understand where you're coming from. I think even a lot of like Spider-Man cartoon, like when he's like young, he doesn't necessarily actually live in like New York. Like he just has like kind of like lives in like a kind of suburban. Like, and it still works. So I can see why you'd say, but I still think maybe it could work without him necessarily being in New York at this time, especially because obviously I don't know where they live. Because obviously they did it with Tobey. Funny enough, I don't think they actually did it. I think Andrew's one was kind of like they lived in like a suburban like house. I think they did it with Tobey as well, but I think the way it's done is that I think he should still be in New York, even if he's not necessarily like a photographer like yet. He should still at least be based in New York. But I think it's just the way they've kind of interpreted it, because like his school as well, like Midtown, it's kind of out in the suburbs, but like in some of the cartoon shows, it's kind of shown to be like in the city. So it's just kind of one of those things where they've kind of like situated it. But in terms of it as a film, I understand why they tone it down a bit after Civil War, because he's kind of had this whole high of obviously being the Avengers and all of this, just kind of been drafted in by Tony Stark, all of this. But I think...
But wait for a second, yeah? Look, so it's a high at Civil War, yeah? Then it's a low for Homecoming. And then the next time we see him, it's Infinity War.
Right, yeah, now you see, now I do.
Okay, cool. Now you put it like that.
It's true, yeah, it's Infinity War, yeah.
I think
that's a bit mad. And obviously, I understand what they were trying to do. Obviously, have like a calm little Spider-Man story between all the craziness. But a lot of people have this criticism about the whole Spider-Man trilogy. It's like, okay, cool. Homecoming, he's not ready at the start of it, but he's ready by the end. Okay, Far From Home, okay, he's not ready again, but he's ready by the end now. No Way Home, okay, no, he wasn't ready at the start again to be Spider-Man fully from New York, because his whole thing they look after is New York. And from the Insomniac games, from the TV shows, from other depictions, it shows that Spider-Man can look after New York. But I feel like in all three Spider-Man films in the MCU, I don't feel like this guy can look after New York. I feel like he can look after a couple of streets and stuff like that. Like he can look after a single threat, but I just don't think he can handle New York, though, to be honest. I've not seen him jump off a skyscraper, swing for a bit, and go and solve a crime.
I think that's what linked to my point before about it being a shared about it being a shared universe. I think they have to find a way to kind of follow through like storylines and arcs better when they're not in their own film, because there's other characters that have suffered from this. Not as like Thor's another example. Like it's in one film they're like this, and then they go to their own film. It's like they're kind of resetting them, or they don't do a complete reset, but they add some new stuff that they kind of learned from those like Avengers film. So I think it's fine to have them appear in it, but there still needs to be kind of like a central, what's it called, like through line that they still go through regardless where they are. Like that's true to their character. I think with Spider-Man, like this is like one of, if not the most recognizable, like, you know, superhero character. Like he should be able to stand his own, regardless of his age. Yeah, he can be young, but I think he still have some sort of like belief and way of doing things. Like even like the whole skyscraper, like we don't have these like scenes of him just kind of, you know, doing Spider-Man, just doing things that we, you know, obviously the room is Spider-Man 4, hopefully, from what I've seen and heard, that seems to kind of be what they're kind of trying to, you know, go on to. But I think it's something that should have been done already. But then again, maybe the age thing comes into, because obviously Andrew and Tobey's Spider-Mans were either at the end of like high school going on to, but Peter's obviously still now in high school. But obviously I think now where he's
14?
Yeah, 14, which is like, you know, like
that's the
like
youngest that's ever been on.
Yeah, at least live action.
Action film. Yeah, he started.
Yeah, I'm sure Civil was like 14 or something.
I think 14, 15, yeah, 14, 15.
So he is still quite young. But I think his development's kind of just been a bit all over the place now. But I think, obviously, we'll go on to No Way Home later, but I think, obviously, the way it's ended has kind of put him in a good position to now take him forward. Yeah. You can now mention all of that Insomniac kind of like story. Like, you can start bringing these storylines into, because he's now, what, like 18 now? 19? Yeah, he's obviously now had the Avengers thing. Yeah, he's fought all these massive... Yeah, he's got experience now. He's got loss, he's got all this baggage.
Spider-Man 4, I think we will probably have a time jump, so he's probably going to be like 19, maybe 20.
Yeah, but I think now where he is, he's got all this experience, all the Avengers, all these battles, done all of this, so he's got that. Obviously he's lost his aunt now and everything. Lost his girlfriend, his friends. So I think now he's got enough, I guess, quote unquote, emotional baggage to now kind of, you know, flesh him out and give us like a Spider-Man like story. Like I know he's been Spider-Man, but now it's like, now I want to see you like on your own. You've had all the little help.
I want to see you protect New York. I want to see you protect New York now.
Please, even all his help is gone. Tony Stark, all of that is gone. Happy's obviously doing his own thing. Like now you've learned all of this stuff.
I also think they did Vulture quite well with this film.
So I think Total Homecoming is a film. I think I'll put it in rewatchable because I think there's still elements of Spider-Man that still make it.
But you wouldn't rewatch it.
No. I want to say it's rewatchable in the sense that there are aspects of it that are still Spider-Man. Mine rewatchable's Venom, but I think Venom by itself is literally just not a Venom film. That's why I still think Spider-Man Homecoming to a degree is still a Spider-Man film. That's why I'm not going to put it mid.
You're basically saying that Homecoming is too good to put it mid. And I hear that.
It's still a Spider-Man. There's still an element of a Spider-Man film. Venom is close to just like not being like, it's really, in reality, it's really not Venom.
It's really not a Venom film, to be honest.
Venom in that film, it'd just be a random alien film.
Yeah, you'd have to reshape the whole film.
Literally, you could replace Venom with an actual alien.
I'll put it in rewatchable. So that's why I'm putting it in rewatchable.
Next film is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Just get that to the bottom, please.
It's just not good. It's just not good.
It has so much baggage on this film. Listen, from what I know about the plans from the extended universe, it deserves to be in this, ain't it?
You see that final half an hour of that film, yeah? Brilliant. Beautiful. I loved it.
He killed the whole Stacy bloodline in 2 movies.
And he might be a legend for that, I'm not going to lie. Because it takes balls for you not to listen to your dead dad's girlfriend. To not listen to him. It takes balls, and I respect it.
You were there when the dad died. He, on his deathbed, he said, "Leave my daughter alone, please."
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Then he was with the daughter on the deathbed saying sorry and crying. Thank God, always.
Wow.
I know his dad watched it from
though.
him. It's like, if Peter dies, if his dad would be like, if he goes to hell, then Peter Parker's not here. Then...
Horrible, man. Horrible. Listen, I don't know what Sony was attempting to cook with that film, but it was not it at all.
The biggest crime was the characterization of Harry Osborn. I'm sorry.
Hey, come on now.
A great actor, but my brother, you are not Harry Osborn.
You are his fault. That kind of showed me that
Harry was just absolute nonsense. Sorry, just.
It's nonsense. You know what? Yeah, he's like
he's not meant to be emo. He's just like some dark light. That's not Harry Osborn, man.
Exactly. You know what? Yeah, this whole film, it took too many liberties for me.
It took the liberties.
Yeah, it took too many liberties. It took a bit too much.
The next one is another horrible film, Morbius.
Just put at the bottom. There's literally nothing to say. Just put at the bottom, man.
Yeah, come on, there's nothing to say. There's nothing to say.
Cinematography in that movie went crazy, bro.
I watched the film and instantly forgot.
You know, yeah, it's not even so. It's just to see the film like moving. Using powers and
that's it. They're using the trailer to trick you as well.
Next one is Let There Be Carnage. Yeah, we're
going
on
as well. Just put at the bottom.
We're going on this.
It's not mid. They literally killed Carnage. They just disgraced Carnage. Put at the bottom, man.
That film is horrible. No.
This is meant to be one of the demented symbiote, and they made him some next sim for some now move, man. Put at the bottom.
The next one is Spider-Man 3.
Rewatchable.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, yeah.
It's got good rewatch value.
It is rewatchable.
Maybe I'm coming from a nostalgia perspective, but I rewatch that film sometimes.
I think the problem as a film is that it's too convoluted. I think if they took some things out, it would have.
It's just too much, yeah.
There was a few too many story elements that need, like the whole Venom thing shouldn't have been in the film. I think if it just been like him and like Sandman or something, I think that would have taken him to top, because all their interactions were like really top tier.
Sandman and the Green Goblin storyline, I think I would have been fine with, you know.
Yeah, it's just that Venom. That's why it's not top tier. If they took that Venom nonsense out,
or just pick two of any. I would have taken a Goblin and a Venom. I don't know if I would have taken a Venom and a Sandman, but I would have taken a Sandman and a Goblin. Sandman and Goblin is calm. A Venom and a it's all calm, but like 3 is just too many.
So I think it should have been Goblin with either Goblin and Venom or Goblin and Sandman. But Goblin had to be there because obviously it's Harry. But I think all three of them, I think that's what kind of tipped me over. That's why I'm putting it rewatchable. If they took out Venom, I think it would have been top tier.
Oh, what? The church scene?
The what?
Where he praised.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of iconic things from Spider-Man 3.
That is pure hatred.
Yeah, it is.
Pure hatred.
Yeah, but
going to church.
But I'll be real. I don't know if I'm biased with Spider-Man 3 though, because I remember having the pirated DVD. Like, I think that was because that came out when we were young.
I think a lot of people are, but for me, it just felt rushed. There was good story in it, but I think it was too rushed and it was too much. Take out a few things. I think I'm going up to top tier, because I think there was a good like basis of like story between him, MJ, Harry. But I think all the Venom and all this kind of stuff and the whole Felicia Hardy thing was like there was just way too much kind of going on. So, but it is rewatchable.
The next film is Spider-Man, the original one.
I actually think it's really overhated, and I think one reason why is I think people think it's too campy. But I think for the time, some of the jokes looking are cringe, like they are a bit, but for the time, I think it works well. So I'm going to put in top tier, and I think it was kind of revolutionary. So I'll put in top tier.
I would put it, personally, I'll put it in go, but I do hear the criticisms, but I think it's just a product of its time. Growing up, when we were actually in the 2000s, that was a great film. But obviously, when you
come like all this like similar kind of mannerisms were there, so I don't really see, and some of those rom-coms people have as their kind of like greatest. So I don't really see the but I'll just put in top tier.
Spider-Man 1 had to be good.
Yeah, for Spider-Man 2 to even happen anyway. So I'll put top tier.
The thing is, look, so because the Amazing Spider-Man didn't even get 3 films. The MCU got a trilogy only because it's probably the MCU. Homecoming probably wouldn't have spawned a trilogy on its own. Into the Spider-Verse is just a good film, so it's gonna get a trilogy. But Spider-Man 1 had
Especially
to
the
be
time it
good.
came
Like,
out
it
as
had to
well.
be
Like
good.
comic books, they weren't
It
really
had to be
popping like that. I mean, it was only X-Men.
Oh, well, popping. Yeah.
Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is probably arguably one of the greatest.
You know what? I hear that. They probably wouldn't agree that if they didn't think the film was good. I hear
I
that.
would rewatch that film at any time.
If you were to watch the film again, like
I rewatched the film recently because I'll probably rewatch it like once every year or once every like 2 years. I say it still holds up.
But I think, yeah.
The thing is, because I'm biased, obviously, because I come from that time. I grew up watching films from that time. Maybe if I showed it to my nephew, he'd be like, "What the hell is this? What are you showing me? I don't get it. These jokes are funny." But I remember a time when these jokes were funny, so I can laugh at it on that basis. And it's not that dated.
I don't mind rewatchability, but that's only gonna come after how I judge it as a film. Like the only reason I said rewatchability for Venom was because the film wasn't great. So that's the next kind of like marker that I'll measure it by. But Spider-Man 1, even without it, it's a good film. So the rewatchability, that's just kind of up to the individual. So that's top tier.
As a film, there's so many scenes that are very, very classic in that film. It's shot very nicely. Again, the acting portrayals are quite good. The story's quite good. It's layered. I like it a lot, man. I like it a lot. I like how grounded it is at times.
The next one is No Way Home.
No Way Home, I would say go. No, top tier.
No Way Home. No Way Home has to be goated for me just because of first movie experience.
As a film critic, as a film critic, I think
if you're going on it as a film,
I can't live off the high. I can't lie. Now mention in my letterbox though. So
it's not going film. I'll be real. Like I understand what it was for the Spider-Man culture, crazy, generational.
But as a
film,
it's again, it's one of the films that have way too much going on.
It's geeky. Oh, sorry. As a story, the story is dookie. The story is dookie. In terms of it just doesn't make any sense at all.
There's too many kind of moments in there, like
there's a bit too much coincidence.
The thing is, they're just trying to force the three Spider-Man together, and you
the
can
star
tell.
is fine.
Just doubling his way to the end. Like this is where we're trying to get.
There was no, okay, cool, we have a great story here that involves three Spider-Man. No, it's how are we going to make a story that gets three Spider-Man here immediately and stuff like that. And the thing is, you know what, Ian? I say I put it in good, but I think my mind, I'll put it top 10 because Infinity War was a spectacle and it was a good film. No, it didn't have to be a bad story. It could have been a great story and a great spectacle.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It's not.
Couple of tweaks to that film. And they made it go, but it's just a lot of just.
I think the first like maybe 10-15 minutes is fine. Obviously, they start where Far From Home ends. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's fine." Takes MJ, they swing with it. That's calm. I think the problem for me now is when it gets to the Doctor Strange stuff. That's when it's just like, okay, you need to kind of think, what am I gonna? I wish they would have spent more time with him dealing with the fallout of people finding out he's Spider-Man. The problem now starts is when he goes to Doctor Strange.
100%. He just had a bad time going to school. I think
they should have just lingered with that more. Actually show him in school something like that, how it's kind of affecting. Yeah. And then he did it for a bit. I think now when they get to the Doctor Strange stuff close towards the middle, dude, that's when things just get a bit muddy. Him saying, that I spotted these kind of creatures like coming in, da-da-da. But I think them already saying they were going to bring back the villains was kind of, it was a two-edged sword, because like you can't bring the villains back and not bring the Spider-Man, because otherwise it's just not going to make sense. I mean, you could try, it's just going to be weird. Like if it was just him fighting all these,
would have made it low because they were trying to market it as a Spider-Man versus Doctor Strange film.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think once those old villains start coming back, it's just they'll kind of tie themselves. Of course, like now you just have to bring back. Otherwise, it's just going to be weird.
They didn't have to bring back the old villains.
They didn't have to bring the Spider-Man.
I think the biggest thing that doesn't make sense in the film is the villains, to be honest, because fine, they're reformed, but some of them, it doesn't make sense where you're sending them back to. So, okay, you reformed Doc Ock, but it's like you just grabbed him just before he died. So you're now going to send him back. Okay, cool. Even if you send him back and he saves himself and now he's a cool guy, haven't you now changed like the whole timeline in that universe now? What if something crazy happens and stuff like that? Like,
no, all of them are now in branch timelines. All of them. All.
Okay, cool, fair enough. But fine, the way Tom Holland Spider-Man deals with those villains and the decisions that he makes, bringing them to his actual home and stuff like that, it just makes no sense to me. This is a Spider-Man who's dealt with Thanos. He's fought the Avengers before. He's fought Vulture before. He's been tricked. He's been tricked by Mysterio before. What is going on here? Wow, that makes no sense.
I think his intentions were correct because his actions that kind of follow through, it just doesn't. Even if they help them, that's fine, but don't bring them to your crib. Like, I'm sure where you can go.
His yard, bro.
Like, come on, man.
He would never put Aunt May in trouble like that. The Spider-Man that
she low-key has an issue in this film as well, because I think a lot of what he was doing was kind of influenced by what she was saying as well. And I think Aunt May, she had the right message, telling them to come to the house. Is like
right message runs in one execution, basically.
Yeah, I think a lot of the thing with this film is that they had the right message, but the way it was executed was weird. I think
but they shot themselves.
The whole Doctor Strange inclusion.
They shot themselves in the foot.
Is what kind of really threw. I know there's probably some contractual obligation that there has to be a
timeline where Doctor Strange came before Spider-Man, because I feel like it would have been a lot better.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Because the original
that's
plan,
the timeline in which everything would have made sense.
The original plan was it wasn't Ned getting them. It was
all of that as well. It was just kind of.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, like there's so many things. It's like you're just forcing it. And the thing is, they shot themselves in the foot by them telling Aunt May that he was Spider-Man in the first place. Because the Spider-Man that I know and love, he's hiding it from his friends and family. So this kind of situation would never even happen in the first place. But you bring them around your family and stuff like that, and all your friends being involved, and they're the ones bringing the Spider-Man to this universe, and then everyone's looking for Spider-Man.
I don't mind them being involved because in all media, like his friends always do like empty game. But I think he wants to bring the other two. It just doesn't make way. But I think
bring me PR. Where's PR? Like?
Narratively, it's weird, but I think. I guess maybe I'm being harsh that a lot of the problems was kind of from wider issues, like in terms of COVID, rescheduling. Because I think if everything came out in the order it was supposed to, I think narratively it would just make more sense. Because I think the multiverse already breaking from Doctor Strange and then going into Spider-Man would obviously make more sense because obviously his identity is revealed and then now you have, but the multiverse is already fractured. So now the people coming would make sense because like, okay, the multiverse. But because in No Way Home, the multiverse wasn't broken, quote unquote, it wasn't broken at that point. Something needed to happen. So that's why the whole kind of spell thing was just kind of like really, like they now
the spell thing didn't even make sense.
We need to find a way to kind of break the multiverse. Okay, let's just have him, do a spell. And I think Doctor Strange is what his inclusion. He keeps coming out to Doctor Strange like this guy is a seasoned veteran at this point. He's seasoned. Even if he's asking you to do the spell, just stop the spell while he's talking and just talk to him like stop the fights. Like he keeps goes like okay, let me.
Exactly.
It just kind of felt. That's why even when the trailer came, people
people were incompetent for this whole
I think there was just
people thought he was
like a scroll, and I now looking back, I think it makes sense because some of the stuff was just weird. It's like this is not what Doctor Strange would do. Like
that'll be interesting.
Like, it's just kind of weird in terms of
I didn't think about
what he was doing. So I think narratively they kind of shot themselves in the foot, but I think it was coupled with the fact things got moved around.
That obviously that's not an ideal situation to be in, and obviously COVID and stuff like that. But in terms of what they introduced,
I don't know where I want to put it because I don't think it's a car crash of a film. Rewatchability, I don't know whether I necessarily watch it.
Not. Because again, it has good moments.
It's just I really don't place it.
Rewatching it is a bit of a drag.
Amazing.
Like there's
but the first rewatch was really bad. Once I started nitpicking and stuff like that, in terms of how does this actually make sense? Did Spider-Man have to do this? And did they say by making everyone forget Peter Parker is Spider-Man? Does that affect other universes as well? Why was only people that were brought here villains when there's normal people and stuff like that knows Spider-Man?
I mean, there were plans to bring like Gwen Stacy and MJ back, but it all fell through. So.
You know what? Do you know what I think would have been really
because
cool?
if they came through, that would have made sense. It just would have been too much like, why is she here?
You know, I
don't know.
This
Is I don't know to put. It's just it's weird.
But yeah, the universe already breaking due to like multiverse of madness.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If Doctor Strange came out before this film, then a lot of the things they'd had to try and make happen wouldn't have needed to, because everything would have been broken already. So even if he still did the spell going wrong would have made sense if the multiverse was already broken, because there's loads of different things happening. But the fact that was the catalyst for it breaking just kind of made it a bit.
Let's not forget as well, Venom was brought into this universe because the symbiote has access to so many different other symbiotes' knowledge. So he knows from another symbiote that Peter Parker Spider-Man. So he was brought over for a couple minutes and then taken back. Come on, it's like we're forcing a lot now. A lot is getting forced right now.
I will know the post-credits because they're not. He can't say.
Let's go back into the actual range. Where would we put it?
It's weird because I think there's
top tier. Let's see top tier.
I just put.
If I'm taking at face value for what it did, it was a film that tried to put the three Spider-Man together. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't even really that good, but that spectacle is really amazing.
I always remember it. So.
The first one was really good. Yeah, I would remember that.
But because I don't know whether it's support, it's just weird. Because I think there's just a lot of factors with this film that kind of affected the way it came out, and it's kind of a lot of ifs and buts and so. But in terms of what
I would say go.
You said what?
You go.
I would say go, if we had all the context and what they had to go through in terms of like, having to put out this film. And I remember when this film came out, people were saying top 5 MCU. The people were saying all different type of stuff from No Way Home.
That did mellow out. For the sake of this video, I just put in top tier. I don't know whether I should agree with them.
Yeah, I just put top tier
for the sake of the video, because
if it was my own list, I'd put it go, but top tier is
it's just a weird one.
This is not a bad film. It's not a bad film, and I'm prepared to defend it.
Look. Can I find my case? Can I find my case? Look, Far From Home, it's a Spider-Man film that's not in New York. I understand that. It's a film that sometimes has a good heavy reliance on Tony Stark and his tech and people that used to work with Tony Stark, which was a gripe with the first film. I do understand that. But in terms of the romance, the combat that we see from Spider-Man, the Spidey sense and how that evolves over the film, Mysterio, he's more than possible. I think he was a good villain for what he needed to do. He set up No Way Home. The first actual villain to, let me say, okay, obviously besides that nasty, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, who actually had that lasting effects on Spider-Man afterwards.
That's actually good.
They got quite inventive with the fighting scenes and the fighting locations. They were in London. They used his like triple across Europe to like kind of like expand it, but I quite liked it. I would put it. See, this is why I wanted to put the films there first, because now I would put it rewatchable. Yeah. Before I would say top tier. But I can't say it's as good as Spider-Man 1, No Way Home, or Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, it's rewatchable. It's rewatchable,
yeah. Yeah, I agree with what you said.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to put the films down first, yeah.
I think the thing with Far From Home, I think, because obviously it's following Endgame. Obviously, Tony Stark is gone. So obviously him, feeling, down inside, obviously that was his mentor. That's cool. And I said he's going on a vacation. Cool, fair enough. I mean, it doesn't always have to be new. If he wants to go on a vacation, that's cool. Well, but I think one thing that kind of did irk me a lot was what's it called? I think the jokes and also didn't really it felt a bit too kind of like childish. I don't expect him to become like downbeat and just like sad all the time is fine. But I don't know, the whole vacation thing just kind of felt a bit. Yeah.
It could have been. Maybe Into the Spider-Verse could be a GOAT film, but just me personally, I'm a bit against it. I think other people might put it there because it kind of like it changed a lot of people's lives and stuff like that in terms of like definitely boosted Miles as well in the public eye.
If that would you say if that movie never came out, do you think those guys are
But
experimenting like that?
am I giving it props for that though
Look
as
at
a film? Not really.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Do you think they're doing
Actually, I
that?
might
if
flip
Spider-Man
that.
doesn't come out?
Actually, I might swap it. Actually,
What?
it might be controversial, but I think I'll probably put Into the Spider-Verse, and then go and then put Across the Spider-Verse.
In top
Down
10.
to
I think it's
top
better.
tier.
No, because I'm just going off it as a film though, and I see ATSV is better in my opinion. But I hear what you might not saying, but I just believe ATSV is better.
I think
There's nothing that ITSV does better.
I think the
than
story
ATSV.
is tight in the first one.
yeah, it's more self. You could watch it in isolation. In Across the Spider-Verse, you
I
can
understand
watch it
in
in
the future I won't be able to watch ATSV in isolation.
ending
But
is like.
I think there's.
I know. And that was my biggest.
And that's why I
gripe.
said about
That was my biggest.
like,
gripe
the third film
but
is basically make or break
If
for.
it doesn't hold up to the standard
It
that the
is,
second
it is.
film is set,
Can
then
a third film
absolutely
make
it could be
ATSV worse?
Would you?
If that film is bad, if the third film is bad, does it make ATSV bad?
Yeah. Like if it doesn't build up, you're now looking at you're looking at it differently
That
now.
shows that the second film has high standards.
No, but you're looking at it differently now.
No, but you have to judge it as a
I'm
film,
also looking
though.
at the team behind it.
You have to
Though.
judge Across the Spider-Verse as its own film.
No, I'm judging it by
Spider-Man
itself.
3
It's
is a
a
bad
great
film.
film. There's nothing below top tier.
No, but Spider-Man 3 is a bad film, but that doesn't impact Spider-Man 2 and its greatness.
I guess so.
What do you mean?
Spider-Man 3 is a bad film, but it doesn't impact Spider-Man 2's, like the original trilogy.
Yeah,
It
but
doesn't impact Spider-Man 2's greatness. It wasn't a cliffhanger, I hear
Spider-Man 2
you,
has no
but...
cliffhanger.
Well,
You can watch that.
I
there's too many
know.
loose ends that haven't been answered. As a film, there's still things in that haven't been answered. Like this whole sports storyline hasn't been answered. The whole Miles Prowler and Uncle Aaron, what else? Gwen stories.
Yeah, we just have more questions.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a two-part,
No,
but the thing is,
they announced that they were going to change that.
But they could have, no, but I hear what they're saying. They could have ended a couple threads
Should have
before the
announced that it was going to be
cliffhanger.
split into two films ages
There's
ago.
so many threads that are not. There's so many threads that are not like everyone's relationship with Miles is up in the air. Sport. There's a new Miles. All these type of things. You don't know if his dad is gonna die. Like there's so many threads. This is all questions. There was no answers in this one.
Yeah,
Only
that's
questions.
I'm gonna have to move it down and stop it into this because
No, I've been trying to get my
it's a complete film. If Into the Spider-Verse was its own thing,
I'd rather just move ITSV up as well.
I guess if we're talking in the fact of
I'd rather just move ITSV up.
because
As well, put it-
just
put
said
it in the
Across
same
the Spider,
tier.
it's not a complete film then.
it's not a complete film.
But it can't stand on its own.
I need to watch it, so I'm not too sure.
If Into the Spider-Verse was the only film that was made, it will stand by its own. If Across the Spider-Verse was the only film that was going to be made of it, it wouldn't. It wouldn't stand because it's just like you think what's going to happen.
Wait, hold on. I think that Across the Spider-Verse merits can only be like with Beyond the
If it was
Spider-Verse.
one film,
I think
Like,
so.
basically, it's
I think so.
It's
Because of the cliffhanger.
yeah, because of the cliffhanger and the loose threads, it's basically grouped as one film. You can watch it by itself, but it's a thing of
Yeah.
you're feeling very incomplete on a lot of stuff.
well, yeah, so then it's not a better film than the
Isolation.
first one because it's not complete then.
Yeah.
It can't be better if it's not complete.
I still think it. I still think it is.
So wait,
Yeah.
hold on. So are we basing this on the
Now,
fact
based
that
on what
we
I've shown
haven't seen
across
Beyond
the
Yeah,
Spider-Verse?
basically.
What I've seen, there's incomplete
you could
story.
say-
No, Infinity War had the definitive ending, even without the kind of point. It could end right there.
MCU could end with Infinity War and
Thanos, whatever, that's still a complete story. Yeah, we know
Yeah,
the
like-
one, but on its own, it stands as a film. It stands.
Thanos smiling at the end.
cool.
You would have went,
No,
oh,
character arc in Infinity War, there are character arcs.
Yeah,
Stuff
Tony
like that,
comes
like,
face to face with
people
what he's
change from
been
the start.
dreading the whole
Yeah.
time. He could have died
Yeah.
there. And ended. It's
You know what?
complete.
Yeah, look, the thing is, Infinity War asks a lot of questions, but it answers a lot of
Yeah.
questions in that film as well.
Across the Spider-Verse, I can't say it does the
That's the
same.
thing. That's the
yeah.
it didn't have any questions to answer. It only had questions to ask, but it could have answered some
Exactly.
in the
So
film.
as
It
a
just doesn't
film,
answer shit.
Into the Spider-Verse on its own, it stands better than Across the Spider-Verse. If Into the Spider-Verse was the only film that was going to be out of that trilogy, I just ended like how it ended, it would be fine. You can't say the same for Across the Spider-Verse. If they wanted to make it with Beyond the Spider, then it would have been a long film. But the fact they have already said they're going to split into 2 films, they should have taken to the fact, okay, it's going to be 2 films. We know it's going to follow on, but we still need to make this film complete to a degree while still setting up other things. And it's not, other films have done that before. Case in point, Infinity War. You can still feel complete while still setting up what's to come. But that's just me. I'd swap them. I'd put Into the Spider-Verse and go and then put... Oh, you swapped it. Fair enough. Maybe the viewers will agree with me, but that's just the way maybe they'll say, but that's just the way I see it.
I didn't think it merits being GOAT at this point in time just because of the uncertainty of the third film.
Yeah, because people putting GOAT based on ifs and buts, like if Beyond the Spider-Verse does this, and it links up. If it does that and it's fine, but it's still its own... it's still its own film, but we have to judge it on its own film.
And I hear that, what you're saying, but for me, ATSV does everything better for me. In terms of just like story-wise, character-wise, even visuals-wise, this is everything better. But I do hear you, man. Can barely stand on its own legs if the third film is not as good.
Yeah. But I guess that's it. To me, you disagree or agree?
I think it's alright. We tried.
I'm calm with it. I'm cool with it.
I'm calm with it.
Say less. I guess that is it for the video. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of our list. In the description, there will be a tier list of this exact poll. Do that. Tweet us at Screentalk. Let us know your thoughts, where you'd rank all these films. And yeah, keep stream talking, and we're out. Peace.